Coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia. You are now listening to the Sankofa Paradox with Ed D and Loki on ATL Underground Radio.
ATL, what's happening? How y'all doing on this Sunday, this blue, this gray, this down Sunday? It's wet out there, it's cold out there. Be careful going to your ebbs and flows and your movers abouts. We in the underground today with another Sankofa Paradox. I'm Ed D. I got Mr. Loki in here. We got a resident PhD, Dr. Funkenstein, with us on the couch back behind me. We also got DJ Neelock on the ones and twos. He's in the box. You'll learn about that later. Appreciate y'all joining us today. We got some good issues, good topics going for the day. No sports stuff, of course, nothing's going on until the Super Bowl.
That's a lie.
Okay. I could really care less about the sports stuff going on right now.
You should.
Because it ain't got nothing to do with the Falcons. But, of course, if you following sports right now, you know that the Rams and the Lions have made this monumental trade, one quarterback for the other quarterback.
I really care about them too. I'm talking about the Deshaun Watson situation.
Okay, the Deshaun Watson. Okay, yes. Well, go ahead and hit us. First of all, hold on.
Jets.
This one in the back. Of course, y'all know he. Yeah. But that stuff. But I just want to say before you go on, I really don't understand why you want to see a Matt Stafford to the Rams and Jared Goff to the Lions. But hey, it ain't for me to understand if that's what y'all want to do.
Has Matt Stafford ever won a playoff game?
No. Who?
No, he hasn't, right?
He has not.
Like, he had his best years under who? Jim Caldwell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's actually a passing pro. Who for some reason still can't get a job, even though he took the beat up Lions and made them contenders. Mm-hmm. You fired a man who made the Detroit Lions contenders. Yeah. You hired Matt Patricia, talking about, man, we're going in a new direction. You're right, you went in a whole different direction, losing. Like straight losing. Like, I don't understand that. And then,
you need that sound effect. The wah.
But then you had, 7 head coaching jobs available, right? Mm-hmm. And Eric Bieniemy didn't get one.
Not one.
He didn't want the Texans job.
I mean, nobody wanted the Texans job because they didn't know. But we have to understand what would be going on behind the scene. Because if Deshaun Watson, after signing a 5 years, $160 million contract, said, I'm out, something is wrong. Mm-hmm. Something is wrong. And I think that I think it's racial.
Oh, why not? Of course it is.
Yes, because he is saying he said straight up, after I love the organization, he was like, I'm out. And he was like, I'm out because you all lied to me, and the culture of this organization is not good. Now, if we don't know anything about the Houston Texans, Bob McNair, the former owner, is the one that made the statement. We cannot let the inmates run the prison. Yeah. When he was talking about the situation with Colin Kaepernick and Neely and other players supporting him. Yeah. So now these black millionaires are prisoners. They're inmates now, and you a prison guard? You the warden?
First of all, I don't know who the hell he thought he was speaking over, because we know exactly what you mean when you said that.
Yeah, but it wasn't supposed to get leaked out though.
Yeah,
somebody leaked it out. I'm like, might have been Lamar Hunt. I'm serious. Lamar Hunt be like, oh, that's what you think about them? Hey, write this down.
But we know exactly what that means. Unfortunately, no brothers were hired as head coaches in the NFL, but it's all right.
No, one was. David Culley, the 65-year-old. The man that's, which means he is not your long-term plan.
But is he really a brother?
Yeah, David Culley, he definitely is.
He's one of us.
He played. Actually, David Culley is one. I think he's the first black quarterback at Vanderbilt University. Mm-hmm. He's black.
I'm just looking at his facial features, and it's just like.
Come on now, we can't do this stereotypical thing. Man, he looked too light.
There's a lot of cream in that coffee. That's all.
Yeah.
He's a mocha fudge. Well, you're not even mocha fudge.
But a lot of the NFL players respect that mess out of him, because even though he's never been a coordinator, however, he helped Lamar Jackson get straight, and in that running game in Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
He got 26 years in the game?
26
26 years. He worked for Andy Reid to help Donovan McNabb.
And Donovan McNabb needed a lot of help at one point.
And he got it straight. So, and Andy Reid is like, hey, do it. But my issue is, okay, so the Rams defensive coordinator, after 1 year as a coordinator, got a job. Mm-hmm. He had lost at the Chargers. what's the other guy? The guy from the Titans. You know,
He just came out of nowhere and became the Falcons head coach.
and he got that Falcons head coach job.
Literally.
We all know Urban. And now I'm not mad at the Urban Meyer hire because Urban Meyer did some things in Florida, so he gonna bring respectability back to Florida even if he don't win, because everybody know Urban Meyer wins wherever he goes.
Yeah.
Everywhere he goes, he wins.
So we get that.
He had them winning at Bowling Green. Nobody know what Bowling Green is.
He's not Nick Saban. It's okay.
Wait a minute now, but you can't chump him like that.
Wait, but he beat Nick Saban.
I'm chumping Nick Saban. Nick Saban went to the league and failed.
Oh well, yeah.
In Miami.
Because he did not understand the culture in the NFL versus.
You gonna do what I tell you to do?
League.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
No,
coach, go freak yourself. I'll see you in the next team.
Grown. I'm a grown man. Who you talking to, bro? And I'm 6'5", 240.
Yeah.
I would truck you, bro. So I mean, that's the thing about the situation. Like 7 head coaching jobs, not one black, except for David Cole. And that's why Deshaun is like, nah, bro, you ain't gonna hire no 65-year-old man. Tom Awesome. You hired a black head coach. How long is he really gonna be here?
Yeah.
But look at the history of that program. They had a black president, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yeah. Rick Smith.
O'Brien got him fired.
Yeah. Rick
Okay,
Smith.
and then it permeates throughout the whole organization. What's the former Texans wide receiver that was
Andre Johnson.
He came out and even said, "Hey man, you need to leave."
Because Rick Smith, this is what Rick Smith did. He turned the Texans to perennial contenders. And if you don't know, Rick Smith was black. He was African American GM, and he the one that drafted J.J. Watt and the game. He had that defense on point. He the one that actually had a hand in actually Deshaun Watson getting drafted.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's like, well, we don't think the team is going in the right direction. They were winning.
Yeah,
what direction is that?
Yeah, well,
The
what
direction
other direction,
of having black leadership is not the correct direction, sir.
Look at Miami. Chris Geary and Brian Flores got Miami kicking.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember Miami 2 years ago?
Nope. But you talking about Miami
that.
versus Texas though, sir.
But my thing is this: I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen if he's not traded by the start of next season, and what kind of uproar and ruckus is that going to cause if he's not out of there before June, July?
He could just sit. If he just sits the year out,
He's not going to do that. He can't.
why
do
not?
that.
Yes, this ain't the NBA. He can do that.
I don't care. Any professional athlete cannot sit on the sidelines for
What
a
you
year.
mean? You ain't still on running backs doing that?
And still be relevant. I mean, I don't agree with it. My thing is,
Deshaun Watson won't be relevant.
if he sit out the season, to me, he won't be. Because my thing is, you're not on the field showing improvement.
Wow.
Well, he got a
sound like-
guaranteed contract.
Exactly.
So they can fine him for everything he misses or whatever else, but he has already banked, $90 million already? So I'm pretty sure he's set in life. You can't recoup that. So that's why it's called a signing bonus. I signed.
And then beyond all of that, if he sits out, first of all, they're not gonna let him sit out because that's a depreciating asset, right? So they're gonna take the biggest L if he sits out. If he doesn't report to training camp, that'll probably force their hand to trade him.
I say
who's his backup in Texas?
Nobody.
nobody knows.
So they're not gonna do that.
We don't know. I mean, I think about it, he doesn't get hurt, so I don't know. It was Max Shaw. It was Max Shaw.
Which means he didn't have a backup.
No, Max Shaw did some things for the Texans now.
Yeah, he did.
He wasn't great, but he did some things. But yeah, Andre Johnson
He was the one that made that when they finally became a contender that was throwing the ball. But I mean, they have a prime opportunity to go and grab the Miami quarterback in an even swap.
It's not gonna be even swap. You're not giving up Deshaun Watson in the even swap.
Well, no, they'll get some draft picks from Miami. But if Deshaun goes to Miami,
There's no reason
man,
to go to Miami.
I see that.
With Brian Flores? Yeah, it is.
What you talking about?
Well,
They got a
Miami.
great running back. They got a great
That's the
running
thing.
game
He said
and a
trade Tua
defense.
to attack the Texans, and they can start over with Tua.
Exactly.
And then give Deshaun Watson to Brian Flores so they can go ahead and win the Super Bowl. That's what's gonna happen.
That's exactly what
Because
happened.
that Miami defense is
It's
nasty.
off the chain.
Yeah, you're right. They gotta have.
So you have a black one.
And speaking of going to the Super Bowl, I'm very interested in seeing your boy AB out there on the Super Bowl platform. I'm glad that he stayed out of trouble up to this point. I hope he continues to. Is his legal troubles over?
No,
Is he still-
Not really. I mean, well, one of them is the one
I thought
text
he
message.
said it. I thought he said it.
Like it was. Well, that situation was a little different,
Right.
and people don't really tell the truth about that situation.
What is the action with rape, or was she just trying to?
No. So So what happened was she was his trainer,
Yeah, I remember that part.
and her fiance found some messages she didn't want him seeing. Yeah, that you can fill in the rest of the story.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta get myself out of this with my fiance.
Right. So, and so they leave all that out. So, but because they want to make us seem like criminals, even though Chad Wheeler, my bad, can beat the holy hell out of a black woman to the inch of her life, and because she would not bow to him, and
no, folks, this is literally she would not
bow. He wanted her to bow to him.
Yeah.
And she would not, so he beat the brakes off of her.
It wasn't his fault. He had a psychotic break.
I would throw a brick at your mouth.
It wasn't his fault, sir.
He has a disease. He has
Wait.
he has a
So
disease.
wait. Okay, if he had a psychotic break, that means he should be in a mental institution.
Facts.
Not on the field.
No, he ain't on the field.
No. He shouldn't be released right now because
he
he's a danger to himself and
Right.
danger to society.
Or he should be in
period.
jail. One or the other. You can't have it both ways.
Now, technically, what he should be in is a 72-day psychotic hold.
No, he
after
should be
you
in.
do something like that?
That was attempted murder.
Oh, I agree.
So
there's no reason
but
for the judge to cut
this
him some slack and let him out. Like, what was that?
This is my issue with this. Kareem Hunt got suspended, got charged, but she spit at him and kicked at him.
And called him the N-word. Don't forget that part.
Ray Rice married the woman who, he did kind of knock her the hell out. But she said, I punched him and I spit on him. But we're married. She said that should have never got leaked out because it was not public business. He lost his whole career.
Yeah, but that was on. See the difference between these two.
Wait. These were Tyreek Hill. Adrian Peterson for whooping his child.
Well, his ex-wife set him up on that one.
But this is my thing. All them people were considered deemed denigrations and criminals.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, this man beats the holy brakes and strangles a black woman, and then comes back in the room and says, "Oh, you still alive? That means you tried to kill her."
Yep.
And he's bipolar. I don't give a good God. Bleep. What was going on?
He should still be in jail.
He should be in jail or a psych ward.
How many times have people have had a psychotic break, and in that psychotic break they actually killed somebody or attempted to kill somebody, and they were held accountable?
You mean like the little boy?
I can pull up stuff right now and list you people that were actually locked up, but they're all of the melanin persuasion.
You mean like the little boy that had the psychotic break in the middle of the street with his mom in Pennsylvania, and the police came out and shot him from 50 yards away?
Yeah.
You mean like that psychotic break? Mm-hmm. You mean like that? Mm-hmm. You mean with the mom standing there saying, "Hey, it's my son. He has a mental health issue. Just let me deal with him." You mean the one they trying to kill?
And they said, "Nah, we got it," and blew him away. Yeah.
But see that's the point. The point of the matter is the law, like when you see the picture of Lady Justice, she's blindfolded and she's holding the scales of justice. But with the way our society is now, she got a little peek
I'm gonna
underneath
tell you
that
a secret
blindfold
about
to make sure
Lady
that
Justice,
person that she's holding accountable is white or black.
Wait.
If they pink,
I'm gonna
they
tell
don't
you
get
something
held
about Lady
fully
Justice that
accountable.
nobody pays attention to. She's blindfolded. She has a scale, but the scales are never even. One scale is tilted if you pay attention to it. Mm-hmm. That scale's not even. But nobody pays attention to that part.
They tell you
Justice may be blind, but it's not even. No, it's fair.
Yeah, that's telling you what it is from the beginning.
The dominant culture.
Yeah.
Because you determine what the rules are. So my thing again is this. The topic of, let me get to the topic, because the topic today is, can you legislate love? Legal matters of politics and race relations in America. Can you really legally force somebody to respect another race?
Yes.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, what is done all the time for the Jews? Don't do nothing anti-Semitic.
People chose to accept the Jewish culture because they make a lot of money.
But they still legislate the love. You can't, like, what's his name? Who made the Passion of the Christ? He almost lost his whole career. Mad Max almost lost his whole career because he told the truth.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, he almost lost his whole career because he told the truth. That's what happened if you read the book.
So when you say the legislated love towards the Jewish community, exactly what do you mean?
What law is there to say you gotta love Jewish people?
If you do something that's anti-Semitic,
Yes.
Not assumed. Not. We talking
Not
about
get punished.
What's the law that says?
Yeah, you have to respect them.
Well, it's not a law that says you have to respect.
That's
them,
my
right?
point.
What I'm saying is, if in the if you do something that's racially biased in the Jewish community, you will get held accountable on the civil rights violation level, and that's what I mean by legislation. Okay, you don't see people riding around spray painting swastikas on stuff anymore, because when they used to, they were held accountable via civil rights legislation. So, can you legislate the love part? You can darn sure legislate respect.
You cannot legally make somebody respect somebody else. Only, you know what? You can't write in a law. But if you write a law that says every time you disrespect a black person, I'm gonna hang you. Oh, that's gonna get respect then, because now your life is on the line. But guess what? The dominant culture not gonna do that. You wanna know why? Because it's not in their benefit.
Well, I get you, but the point is, it can be done because I've watched doggone the Spanish people get in certain aspects the respect they deserve.
You mean people from Spain?
Yes, I've watched gay people get the respect that they deserve. Being able to
Do they really have the respect they deserve? Because I mean, people.
Once they signed the gay marriage thing into effect, they got the respect of this partner being able to go into and help and make decisions with their partner, their sick partner's medical.
But that's not respect.
Stuff like that.
I don't think the vocabulary word is right. I think respect is not the word. It may just be enhanced tolerance because that's a penalty. Because just like, and I'm for stiff penalties on hate crimes. But that doesn't mean somebody won't get up the gumption enough to call me the N-word. Now, in that instance, I have a choice to make. I can punish that person myself with a good ass whooping, or behind kick, or I can let them go, or some police officer hears it now as a hate crime. But I don't think respect is the word. You just may be overly tolerant because you don't want to have to deal with
the fallback
punishment or the fallback behind. Breaking hate crime.
And you know what? If it's overly
there's no
tolerant,
love there.
That's fine. If overly, I'd rather you be overly tolerant, but have the gumption, or the just the unmitigated gall to think that you can comment on my wife's behind. Like when they talked about President Obama's wife's behind, she's doing all this exercise. Did you see her butt? What? First of all, you talk about a man's wife. You lucky he didn't pimp slap you. But I understand why he couldn't do that, right?
No, I've been like, you right, it's good. Yours ain't got one though. But at the end of the day, let's understand something. Just like what's going on with CBS. If you don't know what's going on with CBS Zephyrs are being sued right about now for discrimination because they fired two producers because one was anchors because they said they didn't like the way their face looked. And the other one because he did all that shucking and jive talk.
Yep.
Now, everybody's like, you had the president. No, I think it was not president. No, it was the other guy. The conservative was talking about where that's how do you know it's racist?
Hey, what?
Well, you know how certain black conservatives are. They want to defend. They want to be white apologists. They're like, oh, well, it wasn't meant to. How you know how he meant it?
Exactly.
Either way, whether you say it's not racist or not, you cannot fire me on the basis of not liking the way my face looks.
Well, actually, if I'm the owner, I can fire you for whatever way I want to. Because technically, I'm the owner.
No, depending on what state you live in.
It's the blowback that you got to.
Because if you live, let's say, for example, if you live in New York, no, because you have this thing called a union. And if you violate the union rules and regulations, you will get dealt with. Now, if you live in Georgia, you're correct.
Let's understand something. You have to prove that's why I fired you. Without a shadow of a doubt. You have to prove that's why I fired you.
But you also have to have for example, if you say I fired you due to lack of productivity, you got to show that.
You got to show documentation on your lack of productivity.
You got to show it. If you can't show it, then you can't fire me. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have unions, and that's why people don't want unions to enter the state of Georgia. Okay,
so again, the thing is legislate love. We can't even legislate people to wear face masks. But you're gonna tell them we're gonna make them we're gonna make them respect races that they deem inferior to them. That what you're telling me?
You know what? I would. You know what I would love to see? I would love to see them legislating. Okay, if you do not wear face masks in public, you get a summons. which is technically a ticket written on you.
And guess what
So,
happens?
I would love to see that because it would do my heart
So
good.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Right now, if you jaywalk, you're supposed to get a ticket, but little pink people run across the street all the time without walking through a crosswalk. I've seen it even in California.
I'm with you. You're right. But
think
you
about
tell the
it.
officers, listen, I know you got the quota. We're going to switch from focusing on speeding tickets and we're going to focus
I'm
on
gonna
this
tell you
match.
like this. We had to perform. I remember we had to perform in California. And a lot of us went out or whatever else to go get something to eat. And here you got where there's indentations, you can walk across the street because it's typically a crossing area, right?
Yeah.
In California, that's not the case. Just because of indentation, don't mean you can cross right there. So all the little pink people ran across the street. It's a little indentation. Nothing wrong. Police officer standing right there. Nothing wrong. So I walked across the street. Dude gave me a $600 ticket that I still ain't paid. I mean, I'm just being real. I didn't pay it. Because this was what, over, I think that's a statute of limitations.
That's
I don't know
hilarious.
about that one.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Don't go back to California. Stay.
I mean, hey, I just won't be walking across the street. I'll be driving.
Right.
So, but again, the issue is this: all the pink people, no one got a ticket. So you think I'm gonna pay that ticket after you didn't give them nothing? Because one, I did not know, because I'm following the common practice, and the common practice was, hey, you gotta walk. You walk at an indentation because I'm not from here.
They're going to hit you with ignorance of the laws, no excuse.
But that law must also be posted. There was no sign.
I don't know about that one.
Hey, there was no sign. If there was no sign, and the other indentations, there was no sign. So again, at the end of the day, again, I think statute of limitations may be up. But
If there is one.
right. But at the end of the day, my concern is this: nothing's fair and equal. You cannot legally try to force anybody to force anything, but that's what slavery was. Slavery was a legal law that made you actually respect or at least fear a dominant culture to do what they wanted you to do.
I'll take the forced respect over the ability for the others to get away with things with impunity. I agree with Dr. Funkenstein on that one. I'll take that forced respect. I'll take that forced enhanced tolerance because at the end of the day, people have gotten away with way too much stuff over the years. Way too many silly comments. Way too many injustices in the workplace. Way too many things on the side of a highway with a badge and a gun is involved. So I would definitely be in favor of some legislation out there that says if you do this under these pretenses or under the auspices of, then this is what you get, and I need those penalties because I just think that racism and racist things are just so utterly stupid and just so slack-brained and just devoid of intelligence. You should receive some rather harsh penalties for doing racial stuff out in the streets. In 2021, there's absolutely zero place for any kind of. I mean, you got countries or groups of people all over this country that wake up every day and they hope today is a day that they can turn the key and push the button and do things to America. Get rid of America and Americans. But we got people over here dumb enough to still be worried about keeping their foot on a black man's neck or a Latin man's neck or an Asian man's neck or a gay man's neck. But we got countries that just want to kill Americans. How are we still there? With those kind of enemies abroad and with those kind of enemies on the horizon, how in the HE double hockey sticks are you still worried about somebody's race, ethnicity, creed, and sexual preference? I mean, we got to grow the hell up.
So
I mean, it's really time.
I guess my concern is this. We have a situation where, and please believe it, the country's changing.
Is it?
Yes.
It is, but they don't like the direction.
And the reason I say it's changing because you had a situation where the black folk swung an election on multiple occasions.
True.
When that happens, that instills fear in the dominant culture because they have now figured out, hey, it might just be enough of them.
Momentary. I think it's a momentary.
It may or may not be momentary. And this
Momentary
is why
gas.
May and may not be momentary because I want you to think about this. As each year passes, you have more and more black children. I don't mean children from a black mom and a black dad, but I mean a child from a black mom and a white dad, or a white mom and a black dad. That child is still black.
Mm-hmm.
So every day, or black and Hispanic, that child is still black. Or black and Asian, that child is still black.
That is an awesome combination for females, by the way. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Cool story.
Wow.
But that's the thing that people don't understand. Anything plus black equals what?
It's black.
Based upon the Constitution and the law.
Yeah.
So and I think people don't understand. That's why a lot of white supremacists don't want race mixing, because they know their race ain't got a chance if that happens. Because when a black child and if a black man and a white woman have a baby, that baby don't come out white.
Nope.
Because melanin is the dominant gene.
Yep.
So I mean, I want people to marinate and think about that for a second. And when we come back from commercial break, because we about to go on a commercial break, we're gonna talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. If you don't know who she is, we're gonna talk about this person.
That girl from Georgia with that bull in her brain.
Right.
That's what she is.
We're gonna talk about Denzel Washington.
Oh, Denzel.
And so we're gonna talk about those two people as it ties into our topic today, because those two people are indicative of the differences that you see when it comes to race relations and legislation. And
real quick, before we go into commercial break, don't forget, folks, if you want to get your talents on the show for our Artist Indie Spotlight, make sure you do that at ATL Underground MSE at gmail.com. If you got that hot fire to spit, if you got them crazy 32 bars of lyrics, spoken word, if you got a business, an event, if whatever it is you do, we want to put it out there to the city, to the listeners, let them know what you got going on, get your 15 minutes of fame, get your thing going on. Send it to us at ATL Underground MSE at gmail.com. We'll be right back after this station break. DJ Neela, go ahead and take us out.
All right, guys. Sankofa Paradox with AD and Loki will return in a minute right after our Indie Spotlight. Today's Indie Spotlight is going to be featuring one of my fellow producers from the Los Angeles, California area. He goes by the name of Loki. We're going to spin a couple of his original instrumental beats from his I Had an Idea project right after our intermission song, I'm in the Box by Lyrical Preacher. Stay tuned.
Yo, LMR, ISO. It's for all my people in the boxes. You know, those who scared to step outside the comfort zone. This one's for you. Let go. I'm in a box. I'm in a box. I'm in a box. And I don't wanna come out. I'm in a box. Hey. I'm in a box. Hey. I'm in a box. Hey. And I don't wanna come out. I'm in a box. I'm in a box. I'm in a box. And I don't wanna come out. I'm in a box. Hey. I'm in a box. Hey. I'm in a box. Hey. And I don't wanna come out. Swaggy, swaggy, swag. Swaggy. I'm a swagaholic. Swag. I got so much swag, I could make a swag profit. Gucci on my body. Gucci. Louis on my bag. Louis. You love this crappy music, so I gotta pop them tags. Cash out. Pork chop ballin'. Ballin'. Call it balls home. Oink. I get so much money, call it women, female dogs. When I'm in the club, all the people lose control. I'm crazy. And that's because I sold the music industry my soul. They said to take my talent and put it in a box, so I'll never make enough money to afford a pair of socks. No clothes. So here I am flexing, cause I sacrificed my dignity and sealed away my vision just to make it in the industry. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. I sold my own mama for this fame. You I'm in a box. I'm in a box. I'm in a box. And I don't wanna come out. I'm in a box. Hey. I'm in a box. Hey. I'm in a box. Hey. And I don't wanna come out. I'm in a box. I'm in a box. I'm in a box. And I don't wanna come out. I'm in a box. Hey. I'm in a box. Hey. I'm in a box. Hey. And I don't wanna come out. Okay, hold up. I really think I need to address this. Yep. It's funny what a person will do for a gold chain or a diamond necklace. Really? 70% of the time, it's not even about the money. They just want attention. And they're willing to sacrifice their integrity and originality for an honorable mention. Let me get you with a question. Are you really that pressed for the fame? That you're willing to limit your talents and gifts to skate your way into the game? That's a one-hit wonder. 15 minutes, lost of your artistic focus. I mean, can you even imagine me dumbing down my rhyme just to get noticed? Attention. Turn up. All I do is turn up. I turn up so much I might as well eat a bag of turnips. Hey. You wanna know what's sad? What? I bet you like that line. It made no sense at all, but I bet you got crunk off that line. Yeah, you can have that. I'ma stay right here with my gift and my talent. If you really wanna make moves, you gotta step out the box and achieve that balance. Go left field, stand out. Go against the grain to get free. Cause last time I checked, hopping on a bandwagon is not to find who you wanna be. Nah, bro, fuck that. I'm too scared to be myself. I'ma stay in my box. I'm in a box. I'm in a box. I'm in a box. And I don't wanna come out. I'm in a box. Hey. I'm in a box. Hey. I'm in a box. Hey. And I don't wanna come out. I'm in a box. I'm in a box. I'm in a box. And I don't wanna come out. I'm in a box. Hey. I'm in a box. Hey. I'm in a box. Hey. And I don't wanna come out. If you're tired of fitting in, let me hear you say I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. If you'd rather be yourself, let me hear you say I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. If you don't wanna be something you're not, let me hear you say I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. And if you're ready to break the mold, let me hear you say I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out.
Welcome back, Atlanta. Welcome back to Sankofa Paradox. We're down here in the underground, hitting your mind with some spine tingling, make you think. What's the word I'm looking for? We're sparking conscientious debates on the show today. When we left, we were talking about can you legislate love? We were going to mention Denzel Washington and Marjorie Green, who tie in directly to this topic. If you don't know who Marjorie Green is, she's the 14th district senator in the state of Georgia.
House rep.
House of Representatives. I'm sorry, House of Representatives, and she has been tagged lately with continuing to spout the QAnon, the Proud Boys, the hate rhetoric, the inhumane rhetoric of in harmony, or is it inharmony or disharmony? What's the word?
Disharmony.
Disharmony. Okay, there we go. Disharmony between that is between races in this state and in this country. She's been flagged for some rather inflammatory rhetoric that she said a couple years ago that she's been trying to say I didn't say, or people that are running my social media or putting stuff. Hey, darling, doesn't matter. You said it, and now you got to answer for it. And it seems that the Republican Party is trying to distance themselves from that kind of rhetoric, but man, it's going to be hard. I foresee that Patriot Party thing coming to fruition, but we already know it's going to be made up of people with that evil in them. So I'm not looking forward to survive or to be able to do much, because everybody's trying to move away from that for the most part in politics, because it doesn't stand. So now they're trying to say she should be stripped from her committee appointments. I definitely agree with that. Now drummed out of the Senate altogether, maybe not. Out of the House, whatever, maybe not. Maybe let the people decide if what she's done is that egregious. But definitely, if you're spouting that same rhetoric that gaslighted those knuckleheads to storm the Capitol, and you're still kicking it forward, maybe you should be stripped of some duties and some appointments, because you can't be out there doing that. So, Loki, what you finna do? What you finna say? What's up?
So, for those who don't know what the 14th Congressional District is in Georgia, that is your Dalton, Rome, Georgia area. So you know what's up in that area. That area is 83% white. I think she actually has some mental issues, like, to be honest with you. And they have filed these articles to expel her from the House, from Congress, or whatever.
Oh, they did do that?
Oh yeah, they
catch
because of the
that.
stuff that she's been spewing has been like straight up, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's
like,
straight
this
out
is
the
not
QAnon, but
like, it's like, dude, like this, let's not do that. And the reason we brought this up, because people like that is what will stand in the way of any type of legislation to actually bring a simple dynamic of equality to the people. Because she will be one of the first ones to stand up and say, "Oh, I object."
yeah,
And she ugly too.
she is not the most
Like,
attractive.
she
woman
look like
in
the
world.
broadside of a boat oar. Like,
Oh wow! Wow, I would have said something like she looked like Yoda's baby cousin, but I mean, wow,
it's
broadside of a boat oar. That's
like
pretty bad.
for real, like it's bad. Like, man, I be like, what was y'all thinking when y'all voted for her? Like, did nobody else run? Everybody's like, you know what, we good, bro. You got
See,
it.
that's that same crap that got Trump elected. All those people that he made feel good about the way they felt negative about other people. That's the same crap she's been pushing, was the reason why now she's in hot water. Not to mention, she was stupid enough to bring up when she was talking about Nancy Pelosi and some other people saying, and this is a crime punishable by death. Hey, you can't use that word and that phrase, punishable by death. That says what it says. You want this person taken away, taken out, killed, lynched, hung, lethal injection, electrocuted, punishable by death. You brought that up in your rhetoric about this person. I think that's a little too much for the party right now.
That's a threat.
Yeah.
That's a threat on somebody. And I mean, when she brought the articles of impeachment for Joe Biden, everybody laughed because it was the things that she brought up were the things that he was already being cleared of.
Yeah.
So like, who gonna take that?
Yeah,
And when they talked about it, they likened it to what Al Green did, Representative Al Green, the black representative, whatever else. It was at Trump. I think Trump needed to go ahead and he needs to be impeached based upon the fact that he's just orange. I mean, like he did. He did.
I'd vote yes on that.
I'm being facetious. I'm joking about it, but
orange president.
But he came up with everything he could to try to get that man impeached. Now Maxine Waters,
she was hitting him hard.
like Maxine, she was throwing gut shots.
He can't stand
Maxine
that.
Waters is from St. Louis, the Midwest, and then she moved out to Cali, and she one of them like, look, I'm gonna tell y'all what this folk did was illegal, and I'm going hard for it. And I mean, but this is the thing about that though, and I think I want people to understand this. The issue that we are having is we got black people who are excelling in society. We got black people who are excelling but have become conservatives and white apologists. Then we got the demographic of African American or black that is poor, and they're in a cycle of poverty, and that cycle of poverty has yielded a type of stigmatism that what you would say QAnon and white supremacists and other white majorities, what they have clinged on, and that is we are criminals, and we're not intelligent, and we're no good. That's what they hang up on, and the reason I bring that up. The reason I bring that up is because one of the greatest actors of our time, our generation, Mr. Glory himself, Denzel Washington.
Mr. Glory, I like that.
Hey, Mr. Training Day. King Kong ain't got nothing. No, yeah. But he's actually one of the actors who have been telling the truth about race for a long time.
Yep.
And every time he sits down and have a talk, people want to ask him about the truth about race. And he sat down in an interview, and I want to say it was I want to say MSNBC interview, and he said, and the professor, how do you feel about race? He was like, well, let's talk about race for a second. I mean, if a young man, because for all of us that don't know, Denzel Washington grew up. He had two good friends. One spent 16 years in prison. The other one's been locked up for 28 years. So he is not somebody from a rich family. Right. He had a family that worked hard or whatever else to help him, to be successful. But he said that, if a father is not home, a boy finds his father in the streets.
In the streets, yep.
And I want everybody to listen to that. If the father is not home, a boy finds his father in the streets. And that don't mean, because Denzel Washington didn't have his father inside the house, but his father was in his life. Mm-hmm. That don't mean that mama got to shack up with some dude or be with your father in a messed up situation. That just means your father has to take the initiative and time to pour into his son or daughter. That's what that means. And you have to make headway with your child. You got to show your child how to be a young man, or a woman has to show her daughter how to be a young lady.
You gotta teach. You gotta give him, the principles of manhood. You gotta give him some, this is what you do in these situations. This is what you don't do in these situations. Respect
And so,
and all that kind of good stuff.
I mean, and that's the thing, because what we don't want to happen is cause a lot of our young boys end up dropping out of school, and a lot of our young boys end up like little yummies. And I don't mean no gummy bear snack. I mean a
Yummy
little
salad.
yummy. If you don't know who Lil Yummy is, I implore you to look up Lil Yummy. Lil Yummy was an 11-year-old murderer. He used to ride around a certain place, a certain state, with his mask tilted to the side, committing atrocities, because the people that he looked up to were murderers.
Gangsters,
They
yeah.
were gangsters. And if you don't know what to do or how to be a young man, somebody else will show you in the way that benefits them.
Yep.
And I employ mothers and fathers, be there for your sons and daughters. Because when that child becomes 16 years old and he's legally allowed to drop out of school, I mean legally allowed to drop out of school, what do you think he's going to do for a living?
And it's interesting you bring up the Yummy story, because the irony of that entire story is the same streets he turned to were the same streets that took his life, because his activities, they thought because of his activities, he was going to turn on them to try to get out of the police clutches, and they killed him.
He got killed by a 14-year-old dude.
Yeah,
You gotta,
his own
could
members,
you imagine
his own gang
somebody
members.
putting out a hit on a 5th grader?
Yeah, pretty
Like,
much.
you got to take out that 5th grader. Oh, yeah, him over there on the monkey bars. You got to take him out.
Yep.
Because Lil Yummy
Same
was
streets
killed.
he turned to.
Lil Yummy was killed by a
Took him out.
14-year-old. So I'm like, I don't want women to go find no mud duck man. See what I'm saying? And that's somebody, if you don't know what a mud duck man is or a mud duck woman, it's somebody who waddles in the mud playing and not trying to go nowhere. That's a mud duck. They ain't trying to really get nowhere. They just want to play in the mud.
But what you can do is you can make sure that young man has some positive male role models around that he can latch on to and ask questions and identify with, and somebody that he can look at and go, okay, I want to do what this person is doing.
And see, but things and situations like Look Yummy is what give Barbecue Becky their platform to actually do what they do. And before we get to Barbecue Becky, we're gonna turn it over to Dr. Funkenstein, because I see he has something to say over there.
The gears turning over there, Doc.
Yeah, it is.
Go ahead, man.
All right, so now I want to touch bases on what you was talking about with Ms. Green. Now, you said earlier, should she be stripped of her committee appointments? Well, if Lady Justice is truly blind, then she should be. But let's think about this. 2020, excuse me, she has been quoted saying racist. It's not like, how do you know it's racist? No, what she said was really racist, anti-Semitic, Islamophobic, okay? And she's down with the QAnon squad, right? And she linked Hillary Clinton to pedophilia and human sacrifice in 2017. This lady is really out there. Now, you got that, and we're questioning, well, should she be stripped of her committee appointments? Whereas in the state of Michigan, State Representative Cynthia Johnson was stripped of her committee appointments, and she was literally stripped of her committee appointments simply by saying these words: "There's a good way to do it, and an effed up way to do it. You don't have to curse nobody out. You don't have to call people names. You hit they in the pocket where it hurts." So this is just a warning to you Trumpers. Be careful, walk lightly. We ain't playing with you. Enough with the shenanigans. Enough is enough. Now, they actually said that she threatened Trumpers with that statement. In all actuality, did she really threaten them? I don't think she threatened them. She said, listen, ladies and gentlemen, the right way to handle it is to basically go vote and to boycott their businesses. Okay? But they took that statement because she was the only black person in state leadership there. They took that statement, even though she was getting death threats and all kinds of
And
stuff.
who is this?
Cynthia Johnson.
Oh, sin. Okay.
So even though she was getting death threats and all that kind of stuff, and this was her response to their death threats, she was basically trying to let people know there's a right way to handle things and there's a wrong way to handle things. But they took their statement, twisted it, and they took her away from all of her appointment seats. So now, if you're gonna take away her appointments when
Gotta
she's
do the
literally
same.
defending herself and
Green.
she did not threaten anybody, you better take away this other lady's appointments when she's literally spewing lies where somebody could technically sue her for defamation of character.
I think QAnon is a poison apple for them. I think they get away with
Some rhetoric.
fringe rhetoric on the fringe, but then when you put that Q on them, I think that is the poison apple. I think that's like that's the stopping point. Like, okay, now we gotta get her because now she's linked to QAnon. She's linked to QAnon rhetoric and ideology. I think that's when they go, okay, enough is enough. And it's unfortunate that it has to go that far before people think about wanting to do something. But yeah, I have to agree with you. Ms. Johnson was hit with those kind of sanctions because, of like most politicians, she intensely stated an opinion. This green lady, she's got to suffer the same ills because she's actually spewing stuff that's
Can get somebody killed.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
She's pushing people towards negative actions with her speech and her what she's saying. So I think definitely she's got to face the music on that. And
But
if
would she-
anything, she's got to be stripped of those appointments and those committee seats.
And so when we look at it, but going back to the dynamics of Lil Young, when you look at the dynamic of children like that does give Barbecue Becky. If you don't know who Barbecue Becky is an Oakland woman who called the police on the black people for barbecuing in the park. And she was outraged because they invited her. I guess she didn't realize that she couldn't bring her potato salad or coleslaw with raisins and nuts and orange slices. But she called the police, and that started the Karen movement. And the Karen movement is basically white women, calling the police obnoxiously on African Americans for minding their own business.
But I don't think that started that. That's been happening for years.
No. This
she
has become a movement.
Yeah,
This is
she
a
was
movement.
the first one to actually be in the news
Right.
for calling the police on black people doing absolutely nothing but what they were supposed to be doing.
Right, like this is a movement. Like Karens are doing, like some Karens, I got the brakes beat off of them though, cause
She was one of the first examples of weaponized
Racism.
white privilege.
Yeah.
She weaponized her white privilege because she knows, and white people who do this know that in the hands of the police, we may not survive it.
Well, but what I'm saying is, she is the first person to be publicized doing it. Yes.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, this has been happening for years.
we know that part, but it has never been brought to this light and made fun of by everybody.
Right.
Like
She
this has
pretty
been
much made it go viral.
And
She made it go viral.
I want people to understand this though, and because Ed D brought up something earlier. He talked about gays and their rights and things of the nature. But don't you find it messed up that gays are fighting for equal rights and we're still fighting for civil rights?
Well, what's the difference? Equal rights.
Equal
civil
rights means you're seen as an equal. Civil rights means I just want you to be civil to me. Don't hang me. Don't castrate me. Don't wait for me outside of my apartment with a baseball bat and crack my skull open.
But that's the reason why the verbiage should be switched from civil rights to equal rights.
I think the terms are one and the same.
They're not one and the
No,
same.
they're not one and the same because
Okay.
if you sit down and you can argue this in a courtroom. They're not one and the same.
Right. Like
Because
literally.
you could be civil to somebody and they still not be your equal.
Right.
So during the civil rights movement, that movement was just about being treated properly. Was it about inalienable rights?
Name
as an
two
American
instances
citizen?
where you had gay protesters with dogs and fire hoses poured on them.
I get that, but
That-
we're talking about the semantics of a vocabulary.
That's the
right?
semantics. Semantics is based upon behavior.
But also when you look at the court of law, semantics can get you 2 to 5.
Yes.
Let's just
So
be real.
I'm saying,
I just asked the questions and then we talk about it. I'm just saying.
and that's the thing. But my point is again, gays are fighting for equal rights, the right to be able to get married. That's different than fighting for the right to not be locked up for 10 to 20.
Okay. We'll go with it.
So I mean, and that's what I'm saying. And I mean, it's one of them things that people gotta understand. And then when this stuff happens, when with Emmett Till, with slavery, with constructionism, with Black Wall Street, with East St. Louis, with Ahmaud Arbery, with Michael Brown, with Fernando Castillo, with Sandra Bland. I mean, with these people, they're saying Jacob Blake. They're saying get over it. Get over it. Hold on. But you get over all the atrocities you've been through. But 9/11 happens, they say never forget.
Oh, but you don't hear
with you
nobody
on
tell
that
a
too.
Jewish person get over the Holocaust.
Never, you'll never hear that. And I'm with you there. I'm with you on that one.
Right? It's crazy. You want me to get over it. You want me to get over systematic racism and oppression that have been going on for now almost literally 500 to 600 years. Because it didn't start when Columbus got over here. No, this is what you want me to get over. But 9/11 happens. Something that you were warned about. Nobody warned us about slavery.
Yeah, how about that?
Then they come and say, hey, this boat you about to get on.
You took that from me. I wanted that joke. Yes.
They didn't say, hey, bro, it's about to be real bad. Because we're going to come back and get your wife, your children, everybody. We're going to get your elders. We're going to make your grandmama sew that blanket for the next 20 years until she kill over. Nobody warned us. 9/11, they warned. They said, hey, we about to do this.
Yeah, they did.
Hey, this is about to happen. Hey, we about to get into y'all tails. Hey, you know what? That building you love so much, we about to blow up. You got a warning. But you want to tell me never forget. Get over it. Get over it. So what? The reason that you're here is the fact that Master raped your great-great-great-great-great-grandmama 80 times. Every time he got mad at his wife.
But see, that's the thing. If you take it and you personalize it, I remember a debate I had with somebody that said, "Why don't you get over it?" I said, "Okay, so if I rape your mama right now, and I tell you get over it, you gonna be able to get over that?"
No, it's not even mom. That's not the
I
point.
like the way the Minister Farrakhan put it one time years ago on.
Ain't he the accused?
No.
Yes, he
He
is.
is now.
No, he ain't doing that, bro.
No, he
Yes, he is.
definitely
He's
ain't
doing
doing
arf,
that.
arf.
Yes, he
But
is.
anyway,
Don't get mad.
because it's an interesting point he brought up about y'all one day when he was in college. But anyway, we'll talk about that another time. But I like the way he talked about the get over it dynamic that we just spoke about, and it was that like I said, I hate saying white people, whatever. In white people is hundreds of years, centuries of guilt, centuries of misguided emotion and feeling that they have to get over before we have change. As a white person, you don't want to talk about civil rights movements and slavery and Emmett Till's and destruction of Black Wall Street because it makes you have to self-focus. I mean, not self-focus, self-reflect. And it makes you have to look inside yourself and think about the things you've said and done and thought about negatively when it comes to race and racism. And too many of them are afraid to do that. Too many of them are afraid to do the right thing because they don't want to lose status in their communities and status in their business and status with their friends. And that conflict makes them do the stupidest things in the freaking world. And all you got to do is just be like, hey, it was wrong. I didn't do it. I'm not guilty of it. It was wrong. The country is wrong. These group of people over here are wrong. Yes, you have been done wrong, for centuries in this country by these groups of people. And understand it. I mean, truly understand African Americans and who we are and where we come from, what we've been through, and then the healing can start. But just like the Minister Farrakhan said years ago, until you get to that point where you can admit that there is a problem and get over that internal guilt from you having to self-reflect, we're going to have a hard time changing the system and changing the ideologies and changing the way government, ebbs and flows when it comes to African Americans, changing a lot of stuff, because you can't even simply freaking admit that there is a problem and there has been wrongdoing. Like this, that green chick had the nerve, and I don't know how that kid didn't turn around and choke slam her, but you saw that the video of her harassing that Sandy, who was it, Sandy Hook?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
It was one of the mass casualty events, and she had the absolute gall to tell somebody that it wasn't real, it was a hoax. Are you kidding me? Do you know how many funerals they had because of that event? So
She better be
what
glad
you want
one of the
somebody to
parents who
do?
lost the kid didn't come around and knock her out.
That's what I'm saying. So what you're telling me is you want all the funeral directors for those funerals that they had back then to come give you proof, or the families. You want to talk to the families of who lost relatives in that situation. How do you do that? How do you? Here's my thing for I actually. Well, I want to say the voter should decide on whether she should be put out of the House. I think she should be drummed out because that is a level of insensitivity that says you are not capable of seeing about the constituents of a district. To tell
Her
somebody
constituents are 83% white.
it doesn't matter.
What he's trying to say is she's representing her constituency.
They the one voted for her.
I get it, but at the same point, this information about her wasn't out when they voted on her. But this level of insensitivity automatically says that you are incapable of properly taking care of a constituency. Did you have the nerve to tell somebody that an event that is going to scar them forever, or an event that took human life away from relatives, was a hoax? That's I want to talk more to these COVID non-believers. People, and it agitates me to know when, we lost the same number of people to the flu every year. Hey, stupid. We have not lost 400,000 people every year to no friggin' 460,000 people to no flu every year. Have you lost your freaking mind? At some point, there's a cutoff where you go, okay, well, hey, we haven't lost this many people to the flu. Maybe 25 or 30,000 to the flu every year. Maybe 15 or 12. But 400, you mean to tell me every year we lose 460,000 Americans to the flu? Come on, people.
I'm going to say it like this.
People left in America.
I'm going to say it like this.
After 3 years, we're done, right?
I'm going to say it like, if that's the case, there was no American Revolution.
Right.
And there was no Civil War.
How about that?
Those were hoaxes. Yeah. Those were hoaxes. Because they didn't exist.
There was no Boston Tea Party. You got to hit them where it hurts. You got to hit them where it hurts in the history of the country now. You got to hit them in the gut with the history.
The Boston Tea Party didn't start nothing. Christmas addicts did.
Well, I'm talking about you got to take away those. You got to take away those tidbits in American history that certain people are proud of. They love to talk about the 17. Well, there was no 1776. There was no Boston Tea Party. There was no. You got to take away those historical tidbits that some of those fools
didn't have.
Yeah. There you go. That's what you take that from them. There was no OK Corral. How about that?
There was no Confederacy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now you're thinking.
There you go.
I like the way you think over there. He's not only on the ones and twos.
There was no Alamo either.
Yo, see, there you go.
There's no Alamo.
Now you thinking.
They be like, wait a minute, what do you mean? It's in the history books.
Exactly.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
See,
now
you mean your story?
Right.
Exactly.
That's your story.
Right.
That's history. Your story, right? But that's the thing. They will fight for that. Oh my God, no, this is. But this is what you do. When somebody says it's a hoax, slap the taste out of their mouth and tell them that they imagined it because it's a hoax.
Right.
Like it was not there. You imagine that. You had sensory pain. That's all that was.
Sympathy pains.
That's all that was. You was feeling what somebody felt the other day when somebody told them they did something wrong.
You got a twin that you didn't know that got slapped on the other side of the country. That's what happened.
And they in Ethiopia.
Right.
That's funny.
I'm just saying.
I like that.
But that's the thing, and audience. We're not making light of this because it's not serious. We're making light of this because sometimes you got to laugh so you don't cry.
Yep.
Because this is a sad situation.
Very sad.
Like you got people losing their families left and right. You
of
got
COVID.
educators dying because some knucklehead that sent their sick child to school who, obviously wasn't asymptomatic, but sat in the classroom with that teacher, then spread it to that teacher because a 5 or 6-year-old does not know what social distancing is. They are not able to actually go with that concept. Why? Because they see their friends, they see other little children, they want to play.
But if you want to talk about that, well, let's talk about the nurses that are out here shooting shooting selfies and talking about some. I ain't wearing no mask, and guess what? I work in the hospital. I'm an emergency.
And they
nurse.
should be punched in their mouth and fired.
Hold on,
because that's attempted murder.
Hold on.
That's attempted murder.
In
Hold on,
that
hey,
order,
this-
punch
this
the
is
body.
this is a moment where she was like, well, you could put that sign, and then she knew she messed up because she was like, and I'm a nurse, and I'm out here rooting for her because she was at the riots, right? And then so they go, oh really? So what hospital you work at? I don't want to say that. But it's too late. You're out there with no mask on. They know your face.
Thank you.
You're in trouble, Devin.
She got there on Monday. Yeah, we have to let you go.
Yeah,
Right.
That's negligence on a level.
Because you just said
know.
you want to put people's lives in danger, which goes against the Hippocratic Oath.
First of all, how dumb, how stupid are you to politicize a health condition?
Thank you.
That in itself.
That's like
you know
saying-
what? If you believe in COVID, I mean, you must be a Democrat. No, stupid. It's a health thing that's killing people.
Or how about I believe in COVID because it's my third aunt that died of it.
How about that? How about that?
Now I want you. I pray you come tell me COVID is a hoax. You will lose a tooth. I promise you.
Oh, that's all right. You look at them and say, your lung cancer, that don't exist.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah.
You just coughing. You got whooping cough.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Your heart
have
disease, that's not a
diabetes.
thing. You
Just
just got a
stop
pain
eating
in your
candy.
chest. You need to
Yeah.
stretch your arm out a little
Oh,
bit.
that breast
You'll be
cancer
all
you
right.
got, they don't really. They just have to remove your breast because you know it's too big.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
They like flat
They're gonna
chest.
give you a smaller one. It was too heavy for your back.
Yeah, so I mean,
What if they was already small?
the itty bitty committee. But this is the thing about that. Again, we're joking, but you have to laugh to stop from crying because these situations are getting out of hand. They're getting totally out of hand. When Chad Wheeler can beat up a woman because she would not bow to him, which shows a sense of what? White supremacy. And again, you've seen the photos. They're published.
She beat up pretty bad.
And she will never be the same again. She probably need facial reconstruction.
That's so
and
kind of fine too.
And to come back in the room and say, "Oh, you still alive?"
But you
And
know
then,
what?
and then you get arrested and released
But you know what?
the same day.
So think about it. When she came over to the hospital, she had to go home to him.
Well, she ain't came home yet.
Oh yeah, she's still.
She's in the hospital still. And that's the thing about
But
that.
when she come home,
When she come home, first, well, and that's
I
another
hope she
thing.
don't go back
That was
home.
attempted murder. So I mean,
there's no reason why she should be allowed, why he should be out. Because when she does come home from the hospital, she's supposed to be displaced now.
Well, I mean, I hope she got some friends or something. Because, I mean, you know, hey, you got to go get my stuff. Or, you know, they get a sheriff to be like, you know, hey, let her get her stuff. I hope that she wouldn't have to go home and go, hey, don't beat me again. I need to get my stuff. You know.
And
I
then
don't
if you
know.
look at that, the way he beat her, this ain't the first time this happened.
no.
Probably
No.
not.
But again-
Not before to get to that level.
I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this with all sincerity. Black men and women, understand who you messing with.
Facts.
I understand who you messing with. I mean, and when I say that, this is a situation where Ellie Mae. It was a nah. At any moment of time, they can say it was a nah,
Yeah.
and they'll go on a hunt for African American man. Or black woman, when he decides that he's had enough of you,
Yep.
and he decides he wants to take you out, while you chasing waterfalls, people gotta chase themselves to your grave.
It's about 3 or 4 Proud Boys that got black wives.
Again,
Wait.
we love your culture. Yeah,
I didn't stutter.
we love your
The
culture.
pictures is out there now.
We love your culture, but we do not like you.
They don't love. They don't love
got-
your culture. They love the perks
Wait.
of parts of the woman in your culture.
They still together with him?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll put it like this. Everybody
Posing with the Confederate flag as the backdrop now.
everybody
Okay,
knows.
I'm sorry. I need some links.
Everybody
I
knows
need
that
some
white
links.
women are considered minorities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, the compromise that we made as African Americans was to add white women to the minority status. So you know what happens, right? So when that rich white man wants to get the minority business funds, all he has to do is put the business in his wife's name.
Yep.
And because he can bully her into what he wants her to do and say, she gonna do it, and he's gonna get those funds.
Yep.
And it's legal because she's considered a minority because she's a woman. And that's like, well, it's about black women. No, it ain't, because black is actually encompasses men and women. We didn't need the white women for that part.
Say that again.
Black is actually encompasses the men and the women, which means you didn't need the white woman part. Because that was Susan B. Anthony thing. You know, we want rights for women. But I didn't see not a one black woman face out there marching with them, being able to go vote. Not a one. And I think people also got something misconstrued about that dynamic situation. They're like, well, the first woman, no, dude, you had women politicians of the West in the 1800s. Because truth be told, women and brothels controlled the West. It wasn't gold. You ain't find all that much gold.
It was the nana.
It was the brothels. And those madams became the actual elite politicians.
Yeah.
And when Utah and Wyoming and Arizona, all that became part of this country, the part of the thing was you cannot take the political positions from the women if we're going to elope into your country, into your nation. Because people keep forgetting, it was one by one, these states were added to the nation. And people think, well, that may not be really important. Yeah, it is, because when the Capitol riot was happening, you couldn't authorize the National Guard because your president didn't want to. And because Washington, D.C. is not a state, there was no governor that could authorize it, so Virginia had to do it.
For those who don't know, what is Washington, D.C.?
It's a district.
Yeah.
It's a territory, basically.
It's not even a commonwealth. It's just
It's a territory.
Yeah.
It's a place where you can get out of a whole lot of things that I'm saying being real.
Yeah.
Because there's no state law.
Yep.
So if I am Captain Cheeto and I don't want to get charged, I'll just say, hey, there's no state crimes in Washington, D.C. because it's not a state.
Yeah. I committed these atrocities in the district, so
Write it on out. So
Now-
these are things.
now where are we about with that is truly tragic. Where are we with this sister that's supposed to be coming for him in New York? Have they go ahead and given her ultimatum?
Oh,
yet?
they building that case. And there will be no ultimate because Como hates that dude.
But the
yeah.
case should already be built. Like,
Well,
what you mean?
no. You got to understand something. When you're dealing with somebody who's a former president, you have to make sure that all your T's are crossed, all your I's are dotted, because you don't want him to be able to maneuver or wiggle his way out of it.
And he will.
Right, because he still got lawyers working on the presidential election, brother. That's done.
Well, actually, didn't he just lose all of his attorneys?
He did, but he still got attorney. Well, yeah, they all quit, but he got money. He gonna get some more.
But what I'm saying is, you had 2 years. You had, okay, if you even say, forget about 2 years, you had 1 complete year to get your case together.
No, you don't,
No,
because
you don't.
you have to be able to have that stuff turned over, and because he can do a federal mandate, he can make sure that stuff is not turned over. Now that he's out of office, that the governor can now say, "Now we're gonna turn this stuff over."
No, well, I understand that. I'm just saying, you had a whole year to prepare for this.
No,
It's not
they
that
didn't.
Now, now that he's out of office,
No, let's work that way. Legal cases, when you do not have the impugnable evidence in front of you, cannot be just rolled out that quickly. You have to then scour through the actual legal documentation and then build your case.
so that couldn't have been done while he was in office.
No, because he was a sitting president.
That's what I was about to say, because of who he was and the support that he has, making moves. Now you tell people what you have, and they can make efforts to block
Right.
and destroy.
Because think about it again. Like I said last week, Dr. Fauci looked like he was kidnapped and just released by his captors because he's letting all the truth hang out now.
Yeah, he's saying everything.
But-
I noticed that too. It's like, wait, Fauci's rather chatty. these
Yeah, I
days,
mean,
isn't he?
because he said in the previous administration there were shackles on me, and I did not want to get fired because I wanted some continuity when it comes to dealing with this pandemic. So he played the game in order to make sure he can still exist.
Now, speaking of the pandemic, do you think Joe is going to do it, or what are we thinking? Is
It need
Joe
to be
gonna
at least
do
a
it,
30-day
or
lockdown.
is he gonna blunder this thing? How are we feeling about
Well,
it?
see, he's put a lot of executive orders into place, and I think he's doing everything he can to not have the full shutdown. But I think it's getting to the point to where it's like, I don't know.
But the country's not going to survive another full shutdown.
It hasn't survived it right now. And let me make it plain and clear: billionaires are fine.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just fine.
So they don't care.
They're not losing their homes. They gonna eat tomorrow because they made and they service gonna make sure they got good homegrown organic food.
But to comment on what you said, Eddie, all they have to do is put together a stimulus, right? And this stimulus you get 2 G's. All right.
You mean like Canada doing? Canada, you get 2 G's a month.
Exactly. So you get 2 G's for this month that we about to shut down, and it gets given out indiscriminately. You know what? You can take it out the pork fund, so it doesn't hurt.
Oh, they ain't touching
doesn't
the pork
hurt
fund.
anything else. Right?
They want to make sure they have their party money now.
Exactly. But you give everybody this 2 G's. Then the government, then the country can survive.
But why
a
should I
30-day
give
lockdown.
somebody that's worth billions 2 G's?
Say it again.
Why should I give somebody that's worth billions 2,000?
I understand what you're saying,
Not to mention
but what
this-
I'm saying is this: to avoid even having that argument, everybody gets the money dispersed equally.
Republicans
Everybody
not
gets
even
2
go for that
Gs,
one.
and that's it.
Republicans not even go for that one. And you can't write an executive order for that.
Yeah,
So,
Republicans don't have to go, but it's 50-50 right now. So who has the deciding vote?
there will be some Democrats that's not going to go for that either.
My thing is, everybody that needs it is not going to get it anyway, because you got some people out there who may not have filed taxes because they couldn't afford it to file. They ain't getting no stimulus money, but do they need stimulus money? Sure they do.
They're
won't
going
get it
to
done.
file it now.
Hey, if you're homeless, you ain't thinking about filing no taxes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You thinking about eating.
Or if that, because I mean, what's the average cost of a tax file now? About $175.
Nah, I don't know what you're doing, but they can get on e-file and do it for $24.99. Or
If you have a tax professional do it, it can range anywhere from $150 to $400.
Exactly.
So again, you can go to TurboTax and file a 1040 easy, and it'll be free. So I mean, but again, you ain't got no job. What you filing taxes on? I've been homeless for 6 months,
A lot of them ain't gonna get it either.
and that's the problem.
Yeah.
How do you get it to those that really need it?
But
Like-
see, that's the thing. Like, what if? Why can't? And this is just my thought process. You know, you got Rockefeller and all of these other people took advantage of moments of crisis and made their fortunes.
You mean like Reddit and Robinhood?
Exactly.
Oh, they killed them. Oh my God.
So-
Yeah, but now the SEC is filing a lawsuit.
But let's look at why. I hate it when we do tangents like this, but we got to. So
Right.
you're upset
Because you lost billions.
Because the common man
Made money.
and you didn't. But you've been making money hand over fist for centuries.
But explain
for
it
decades.
further than that. Explain it
Okay,
further
so
than
what happened was they wanted to say that Reddit and Robinhood drove up the stock prices on certain stocks, which actually allowed the little man to make money, and hedge fund billionaires lost billions. Now, again, I explained about 4 shows ago what a hedge fund person is. He's the person that takes civil service pensions and enriches himself and tell them that he's helping their retirement investment grow. But what he's doing is using their money to support his finances and to become a billionaire. And anytime you invest in a company, that is working capital for that company. So therefore, anytime you buy a share in a company, that is literally working capital for that company so that owner does not have to come out their pocket. They'll use the public funds to actually pay themselves. Because CEO get paid a whole lot more than a normal worker. So that's what's happening. So Reddit and Robinhood, if it was a ploy, it was a genius ploy. They picked some stocks, and then they had people buy into those stocks and trade, sell, which means that an even fraction of stocks, which means it pushes the price up. So that means the price goes up. That man that bought that damn, that GameStop stock for $297 when it was $297 about a week ago. When it went up, if he bought 100 shares, when it went up to $348, he made $34,000.
Pure profit. Pretty
Now
much what
he still got to pay taxes on it, but that's what happened. And those who had AMC stock had 1 in 200 stocks when AMC was $1.95. They made at least $1,800 to $4,000.
Yep.
So the little man was able to actually make money. Billionaires can't stand that because they make money off of the little man. It's not the billionaire dollar that they make. It's the cent, the penny. It's poor people and rich billionaires. We do it all day, every day. And people are like, well, that can't be possible. Yes, we do. Because we want to dress like them and be like them because we want that status. Being rich gives you status. It makes you feel more important. Even though per volume, a lot of rich people commit suicide. But being rich gives you status. It makes you feel like you're better than other people. All billionaires are not like that. But they do have a sense of arrogance about them because that's how they got to where they got. But the SEC wants to file suit, and they have filed suit, which means everybody who was short selling and trading that stock after a certain point will be pulled into the lawsuit and may have to pay that money back. I'm like, be for real. You have to find me.
Right.
And
You
pretty
definitely
much-
had to find
Pretty
me.
much what they did was the trading places. That's what happened.
Yeah,
with that-
and everybody
with
that had
crop
that,
report.
everybody that had that picture of Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd up for trial, I was dying laughing because that's really what happened.
That's what
And what they showed was BNS had been manipulating the market to enrich themselves for years, almost a millennia,
Yep.
and they showed the general public how it was done.
Yep. You got to be careful. Sometimes these movies aren't just movies. They're
They're
blueprints.
precursors.
They're
to-
blueprints. They're
that-
brands.
Thank you.
This is
And that's how it worked.
Yeah. And they said because even in the movie what they did wasn't illegal to a degree. Maybe how they came about the crop report was illegal, but what they actually did with the information and whatever, that necessarily wasn't illegal because they weren't, because the Dukes weren't supposed to have the information anyway.
So that would be considered insider trading.
For
Yep.
Dukes though, not
Right, no, for anybody because there was actually a report. Now, if it just said that the crops are going to do this way, if you don't buy into it, it's not insider trading. But they bought into it, it makes it insider trading.
So what they're trying to say about it, about all those people who made money off GameStop, is that they did insider trading?
Not necessarily insider trading because they didn't do it because they didn't get the necessary information for it. Like if you was somebody like me that had AMC months ago, then you didn't. You can turn two clubs. What said on Reddit? I don't read Reddit. I don't invest in Robinhood.
Yeah.
But I still make money, so you can't penalize me for that. And you're now mad at me because I made money off of what you did.
So pretty much, if you were just collateral damage of the come up, you ain't got to worry. But if you actually took the information and ran
If
with
you
it,
took
now you're in
part,
trouble.
then they say, but again, they
Still
did,
messed up.
Wait, but they did not commit any crimes.
And
that's not
beyond
even an
that-
SEC violation because they had no part. They just heard news. Because truth be told, hey, everybody, let's understand something. Investment is a long con.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a
every
long
day.
con.
Yeah.
If people con you to say whether this stock should go up or down, it happens every day.
But how you gonna be able to tell who got the advice and who didn't?
Because they gonna be what they gonna do is they gonna pinpoint who bought on a certain day, who sold on a certain day.
Yeah, date and time.
That's what they gonna do.
It's gonna come down day, time,
Because
and dollar.
all that is a matter of record, financial record for the SEC.
Right. But
So-
what if you just happen to be somebody who bought on just coincidentally? They gonna come at you.
They gonna say it wasn't coincident because it happened at that time. It's almost like you're in the session of murder. Just because you coincidentally walked into the house while he was stabbing her, don't mean that they know that you're innocent.
They gonna have to. They gonna have to find me, like you said.
But like you said, for us, it's guilty until proven innocent.
Exactly.
But
for them,
can you imagine all those people who made? Because there was a couple people who made a couple $1 million off of that, and all they can do is sit there and stare at the computer screen. They can't even claim. The
Oh
money
no,
right
no,
now.
no! I would have been.
What's gonna happen
I would have
is-
took all that money out the bank by now.
No, it's not in the bank. See what they did was they froze the accounts
Yeah.
so that you couldn't sell.
Yeah, oh, you can't. lose money.
After 2 p.m. on the day that it happened, they froze the accounts so you cannot buy or sell.
Yeah.
And even then, some people took the thing off of their stock thing, so it couldn't happen.
Yeah.
Yo, they pulled a dirty move.
That's just like on E-Trade when you make money off your investments, you can move what you made off into their checking account portion of your E-Trade account.
Right.
And you can leave a certain amount as principal.
Right.
So what happened was they froze everything.
Yeah.
So even if you knew to go back and move yours, if you didn't get there by a certain time,
It was already frozen. You couldn't do anything with
But
it.
you can look at it though.
Yeah. You can say, man, I got $1.2 million. I can't do nothing with.
I can't. Yeah.
And so that means that you no longer have access to their money.
And Robinhood still got some of those limitations on there now.
Yeah.
Because I got a Robinhood account, and they sent out they sent out the
That
little-
message?
Yeah, that little message about the reason why we had to do this.
Okay, so Robinhood, so people don't know, Robinhood is owned by Citadel. Citadel, they are hedge fund people, so they got played in the game because you started an app situation where people can buy pieces of shares. So you thought you was gonna be gravy, and what happened was it messed you over too. So Citadel is like, this is not legal. This thing started crying foul.
Yeah.
Now, when you lose all your money, they're not crying foul.
Right.
But now they want to cry foul because people told their tails up.
Yeah, they lost billions. They lost
So,
Millions of dollars.
so the thing about that is this.
in minutes.
At the end of the day, I do not care. because you got what you deserved.
More power to him.
So somebody played your game for you, and you didn't like it because it did not feel good. It did not feel good none whatsoever.
And GameStop is still at $312.01 right now.
Exactly.
What is it?
$312 now. It went from $297 to $300, and actually it was $368.
Per profit.
Like, dude, like people like, I won the lottery and I have to pay. I had to do a pick 5.
Yeah.
I did it $297. So I mean, it's one of the things, and that's the unfairness and the unequalness of this nation.
But you would think they would kind of go, well, they got us.
We took L. We took L.
Right, they got us this time. No, this some bitch
But I'm gonna
got
tell you why they can't. What I say, hedge fund billionaires uses who money?
your money.
Right.
Our money.
So they use your pension.
The losers' money.
If they lost your pension,
You coming for their head.
you coming for their heads.
True.
So they got to make sure they can get your pension money back. Because if you get 65 and they say they ain't got your money, you blowing something up.
Facts.
Big
So
facts.
so everybody can understand when Exxon, Enron, and all them folded, those people
Oh my
pensions
God, when
they got lost
Yeah.
because the billionaires ran away with that money. They ran with it, and you left people penniless and homeless. And while you sitting in Mar-a-Lago, sitting back sipping your Mai Tai, and they found charges. Yeah, okay. The fall guys got charges. Everybody else was like, hey, bro, I wasn't even paying attention. I already had my money.
Pretty much.
So understand this. Again, gays are fighting for equal rights. African Americans are still fighting for civil rights. I want you to marinate on that. And do understand, I have nothing against alternative lifestyle living people. That is their choice. And I support their choice. But being black wasn't a choice.
Nope.
I'm sorry. When I popped out, the doctor said, it's a...
Wow.
So, a boy. It was, as he said, it's a boy. That's what he said. So, understand that don't take a choice and make it like there was no choice. You have the choice to do what you want. But if you want to make the right decision, use the information that you have available to you. And please don't judge nobody else for the decision if it does not hurt you. Or if it doesn't affect your life one way or the other. Don't condemn nobody else for their choice. Because that's just that. It's their choice. This land says you have the right to liberty, freedom, liberty, and justice for all. You have the light of in the pursuit of happiness. So if that dude want to pursue you for his happiness, he has the right to do so.
Wow.
But turn him away if that's what you choose to do and say, no, thank you. But you still have the right to pursue your happiness. I just ain't it. Or a young lady, if she wants to pursue you for her happiness, she has the right to do so. Don't condemn her for her right to do so. Just say, hey, thank you, but I want you to pursue your happiness, just not with me. So that is a right. That is a right. And that's what we're fighting for, our right. The right that you said that we have. Dr. Funkenstein, your final word.
Final word, ladies and gentlemen, is wake up. Look at what's going on around you. Don't allow music to lull you to sleep and make you a mindless drone. And I say all this because if you look at events throughout history, Rockefeller, all these big names, they made the bulk of their fortune in the midst of chaos. Rockefeller made his fortune during the Great Depression. There's a reason for that. Your time to change your life is now. Instead of buying them $300 sneakers, instead of putting, and this coming from, I'm talking out of experience because I used to walk around with $900 around my neck. I used to walk around with $900 more around my fingers. Take that stuff, wake up like I did, take that stuff and put it where it can change your life. $2,000 right now, put in the stock, put in the bonds, put into some type of investment where you could take that and buy a tax foreclosure and flip it. Can change your life. Change your existence.
Eddie.
I'm gonna tell you like this here. It all started back in Willacoochee, Georgia. I'm kidding.
Is that near Thomas?
Stay on top of game, ladies and gentlemen. Educate yourselves. You know, see, peel back the layers of this society we live in, and get underneath things and get to the core of things and find out what's really going on. I say learn how to play the dominant culture's game and make it work for you. You know, don't play checkers, play chess. Always play chess. Be good to some folks around you. You know, be good to everybody you come in contact with. You know, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and try to do something good for somebody while you bringing yourself up. That's my final word.
Oh, we had to play that quick synopsis for him as he was talking.
Did I get to wrap it up?
That sounded like a perfect time. He was, yeah, so baby, let me tell you about
Your final silhouette words.
Okay.
They
All
played
right.
the wrap it up tune. For
All right,
me.
hey, so
Wrap that shit up.
hey, all day, every day, this is about information. This is about informing our people. This is about fun. So this is what we do. We joke, we laugh, we play with each other all day, every day, because this is what you do. This is how you actually have to inform your people, because nobody wants to listen to something if it's not entertaining. You have to be entertained all day, every day, and that's what we're here for you to do. Entertain you while we feeding you your soul with some valuable and viable information. Give you perspectives on things in life that you may not normally hear. Give you the information that may actually help you grow as people, as a generation, as a body, as a nation. This is what we do. We know we have certain point of views. We know we got similar point of views. We know we have different point of views. But to debate, to argue intelligently leads you to a better future. It leads you to have the synopsis and opinion of someone else that can actually help you understand another side of a coin. This is what we're here for. This is what we do for y'all. And all day, every day, be the change that you want to see. Make sure that you pull your neighbor up and not step on them. Make sure that you actually lift your brother because he's not too heavy. He's your brother. With that being the case, ATL World, we love you. We appreciate your continued support. We thank you because the support that we've been getting so far has been beautiful. We could have never realized or expected this type of support that we've been getting. We thank you. We love you. Keep on sending us your ideas. Keep on supporting. Keep on listening. Keep on sending your music and your talent and your arts. We appreciate putting you out there. We appreciate allowing you to have a platform. This is what we are here for. This is what we do. With that being the case, World, ATL, my people, my country. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. ATL, we out.
Them deuces.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Sankofa Paradox with Ed D and Loki on ATL Underground Radio. We are live every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with a playback of today's episode available Monday at 7 o'clock p.m. So be sure to tell a friend and check us out at MajorSmartENTLLC.com. You can also download the free app on Google Play and the Apple Store by typing in ATL Underground in the search bar. Got a topic you'd like to hear us touch on? Shoot us an email at majorsmartent@gmail.com with your suggestions. Catch you on the flip side, and we'll see you next Sunday.